Hey everybody, it's Mark Wood. We're here with my favorite faculty. Some of them are going to be today and some are going to be in the next couple of days. But I'm so thrilled to share with you what we are planning. And boy, we have been spending 24/7 the last couple of weeks developing, thinking about new ideas and being creative and becoming the example so that you can follow what we're doing. And I'm very possibly confident that we are going to be able to develop new platforms for the future, and we're going to be getting back to live stuff, and this is a very temporary experience, but what we're finding out is that this is going to be a personal experience more than ever. When we're in a noisy classroom, we've got 50 kids and 50 people, and we're trying to all talk. We have 1 hour, then it's done, and we're sort of absorbing it the way we are doing it in a noisy room. But the virtual camp this summer will be very different. We're going to be able to actually individualize the experience for you on a much deeper and more personal level. And each one of our great faculty today will be sharing with you and explaining what their tricks are and what their content is and how exciting it is for you to interact with each of our teachers. And I'd love to introduce one of our first wonderful faculty member. We got Hayden Vatera in the house. Hayden,
What's up?
you've been with us for many, many years, probably all 10 or 11 years, right, Hayden?
No,
Oh,
I
no?
came in. I think this would be my fifth.
Oh, great. Well, we love having you. Your contribution to the camp has been hysterical.
Yeah,
Historical.
yes.
Has been historical. And what has been so great, you're not only adding, and you're going to talk about this a little bit more, but if you don't mind, I reminisce about what you've been doing and what we're going to be planning also in 2021 with our live camp is that your contributions to the camp has been so deep with your performances and your classes. It's going to be awesome. Now, tell us a little bit about what you're planning for our virtual camp.
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to say I'm honored to be a part of it once again, as I have been every year. And this year, I'm excited to be able to work in a kind of closer setting with people. My class is going to be entitled "Don't Cover, Reimagine, or Reinvent." I haven't decided yet, but either way, basically, as we all know, there's an endless amount of covers out there. I guess you got to do that for the YouTube algorithm or whatever. I don't know, but I always think of things as like, if you're going to cover a song, I mean, it's one thing if you're doing a private party and your background music, or it's a wedding band, you've got to play the stuff exactly like, because that's what people want to hear. That's what they want to dance to. That's what they paid for, right? But if you're going to do something on your own and take the time to make a video, right, put all that time and energy into putting your name out there on YouTube, why don't you take the cover and make it your own and reimagine what you can do with it, right? Because I believe doing covers is cool, but pretty much, anybody can go buy the sheet music, get the karaoke track, memorize the thing, light the room nice, and play, right? And that's great for like beginners or whatever. But one of the things that's cool about this camp, about this whole experience, is we always want to take it. We have people who are very creative, right? And we have people who come to us to explore deeper creativity than just regurgitating pieces, right?
Right.
Because essentially that's what we're doing, with the classical tradition. That's part of what we do. We play that way, those same way. We don't improvise over Bach, you know what I mean? So you come to us and we're going to give you the tools to take it to another level, to really make it your own and to express yourself through a cover, because you can take someone else's music and put your own spin on it. So basically what I'm going to be doing is just and the kids will work in, like, they may be solo, or they may be, that's what's another cool thing about it, is the collaborative aspect, is that they can team up in small groups and create a new version of a cover, right? And with the technology that we're using called Soundtrap, we're able to record our own parts and make it's like a Google Doc, but for music, it's basically like an online garage band kind of thing, right?
I love it. I love it. And Hayden, just to add to this, whenever you play at our camp or I've seen you perform live, I sometimes do not know that it's a cover song because you're making it your own. I
Thanks.
really think that you wrote it.
Oh, good. I
And
did.
that's really, that's the key.
Well, thank you very much. And that's, to me, that's like a great compliment, because that's what, in essence, it should be for someone who hasn't heard a song to think that it's your original. That's, I mean, that means that you did your job,
Right.
right? And there's so many, there's great cover versions out there that have been very different, right? Like, think, for example, the first one that comes to mind, just something simple, is that Hawaiian ukulele version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, right? How beautiful and pure is that, right? Taken from, you know, a standard to just a voice and a ukulele, right? You know, and then there's covers like, let's say, like Metallica's version of Turn the Page, Bob Seger. That's one of the best covers I can think of, you know? So I'm going to take that, and what I've done in my own thing, I've, you know, with my group, Tequila Rock Revolution, we've taken the mariachi stuff and metalized it, right? So we're taking old songs and putting a new energy into it. We took I think what I'm going to be working up as a framework for examples is my version of Remember Me from Coco, which I performed for the first time at camp in memory of our good buddy Kenny Bosco, who we sadly lost. And I took that song. It was such a beautiful song for anybody who's seen that movie, but it's in a major key, right? And even though it's in a major key, it's still a super sad song, right? But I was like, well, if I'm going to do it my way, I'm going to make it a minor key, and I'm going to change the chords, and I'm going to give it a whole different vibe, right? And so I'm going to kind of take people through the process of how I did that. First of all, from identifying what song you want to do, then how you want to change it, what style you want to do it in, whether, and it may be something as simple as just changing instrumentation and sticking to the original arrangement, or completely changing the arrangement and playing it sort of in the original way, right? There's endless possibilities, and I'm really excited to, I'm learning about it just having to describe it. You know, that's one of the things I love about teaching, is that you learn so much through having to explain what you did.
It's so true. It's so true. And the concept that you're going to be doing is so great, because the difference between covering a song and then covering a song and making it your own is vast. And if you really want to get attention when you're covering a song, you have to put yourself into it. So that's really, really important. So we're all super excited.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
And we got Greg Byers joining us. Wave, Greg. Hi, Greg.
Hey, Greg.
But Hayden, have you heard, like, a good example? One of my favorite Chris Cornell covers is the John Lennon song "Imagine."
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh. And he did "I Will Always Love You" too.
Oh yeah.
The Dolly Parton song, you know, in memory of Whitney Houston, and that was just, I mean, talk about tear your soul out. You know, what I love about covering a song in a different way is it really makes the lyrics jump out at you, because the meaning of the song transcends whatever. I mean, arrangement is arrangement, but the song is the song.
Yes.
You know? And I think that's going to be a fun thing to explore with taking these campers, and they find one of their favorite songs that maybe it's, you know, maybe it's a funny song and we make it like super dark and sad, right? Or take a really dark song and make it sound really happy, you know what I mean? There's so many possibilities. I can't wait to see. And one thing that's really cool about my experience with MWROC is there's so much genius in everybody who comes. I mean, you got these kids that are just like, where did you come from? Like, what and what are you going to be when you grow up? You know, and to be a part of that.
You should see the video. We have we just opened up some brand new scholarships thanks to some incredibly generous donations from some people near and dear to us. And I put out the word yesterday, and within about 5 minutes, we got this kid. You guys are going to be blown away by this kid. He's a student of Chuck's, or was a student of Chuck's a while ago. We watched the video, our jaws were on the floor. The kids that get attracted to MWROC seem to be the ones who are already outside of the box thinkers. They're already the kids who are marching to the beat of their own drum. They're already the kids that may not fit in traditional learning environments. And so the mission of in-person MWROC has always been to create this island of misfit toys where we can all come together and share our unique, incredible strengths. And being able to do it online is only going to focus that in a much more intense way, because being online, especially with the live time that our campers will spend with us every day, we'll be able to devote much more one-on-one time to them and really get all of that juice out, all that fabulous, unique, special sauce that
Sure.
we all have. But the kids that come to camp in particular, it's crazy, right? Every year, there's always somebody who's like, where did this kid come from?
Right.
Well, Hayden, one of my favorite songs, you're going to have to do a metal version, a death metal version of what is his name? SpongeBob SquarePants theme, right?
Okay, I'll do it.
We'll get Jason to play drums.
Yeah.
Oh,
put it on
I
the
love
original.
that. Yeah.
As long as it's not Baby Shark, I ain't got the time for that. That's already been done, of course. But
Everything has been done with that silly song.
Ugh.
We got Joe Denenzone here, who is probably the most creative person I know. On his feet, he does everything you can imagine. Hey, Joe, I want you to do this. Hey, Joe, I want you to do this. And he rises to the occasion to do great things. Hey, Joe, it's good to see you, man. Share with us your stuff.
All right. Well, I'm really excited about this year because it gives me the possibility of kind of tying together all the things I've been working on. This is going to be my 10th year teaching at the camp. It's been the time of my life, and I've met some amazing students and made some amazing friends among the colleagues and the students. So, you know, a few years back when I started traveling and doing more clinics and solo gigs, I didn't have the luxury or the budget to bring my band. So I started developing my own solo repertoire, using more and more loop pedals, which I hadn't done up until that point, not that much. Some were covers, trying to adapt my original songs as solo pieces. I've also started doing like cocktail hours and parties around New York where I had to be self-contained and work by myself. And last year I had to do a 2-hour concert at University of Illinois solo with loop pedal and voice.
Wow.
So it's just forced me to get that repertoire together. And when the pandemic hit, I've been doing a lot of live streaming concerts. In fact, last week I did a 1-hour concert for the essential medical workers in New York through Local 802. So my class is all about going solo, you know, developing your own solo repertoire. And I also thought it tied together the things I taught in the camp over the years, like chopping, harmony classes, singing and playing. So basically it's a live looping class, and you could be an electric player with a loop pedal, but it's also a solo arranging class. So if you're an acoustic player, we could talk about how to adapt a song instrumentally or vocally to your instrument, even if you're just standing in a room playing alone. And the project is you have to come up with a song. It could be a cover or an original. You could incorporate loops and live playing in any combination. And I encourage people not to use Soundtrap, to do it all live. That's the idea. And then when we get together for the office hours, we play for each other. It's like a workshop, and we give suggestions. You know, I can say, well, that's really cool. Have you thought of doing it this way? I mean, not that that's better. That's just another way I would approach it. And I also thought I would take people into my thought process when I do something like Ballerina, the Steve Vai song, like how I come up with that. Or if there's a song with 3 different sections and I only have a looper that can do 2 sections, like maybe I start with the B section and, you know, turn it upside down. Like, what's the creative thought process behind making a song work? And I believe that you can make anything work as a solo performance if you really get creative with it. So
I love it. And Joe, I'm looking forward to this summer with the great environment that we're creating, but I'm also looking forward to 2021. I've got all sorts of ideas for you. The past couple of camps with your vocal stuff, your performances on your faculty performance are just memorable, but boy, on the loose and comfortably numb. Goosebumps. The way you and Laura work together on that, and Hayden on the loose, man, just killer
Hey,
saga.
Mark, I think we should do a watch party with one of the final concerts or faculty concerts in the next week or two. Why don't we set that up, and we can, because a lot of this stuff has never been released. Usually in an in-person camp, we film our final performances, we edit them, and we make them available to the people who come to camp. And then every now and then we'll share maybe a song or a little snippet here and there.
Right.
But I think we should do a watch party and maybe watch last year. Last year's
Yeah, that was a
in
good
person
one.
was really great. But this year, what I'm really excited, I'm excited about so much about this year, I don't know where to begin. But one of the things that is getting me the most excited is the final concert videos, because unlike in-person camp, when we're on stage with 150, 200 people, you can't guarantee that every single person is going to have FaceTime. And if they are, they're huddled around their music stands and they're trying to play their parts right. We're going to have time over the course of the 2 weeks to really work with people on performance techniques, how to film themselves properly, how to record themselves properly, how to put their best face forward. We're having script writers actually write scripts for each of the final concert songs, so that there's more than just heads on a screen. And everyone will have FaceTime, because nothing bugs me more. I'm telling you, I see all these. I know you guys have seen it too. How many of these virtual orchestra videos have you seen where everybody's just standing there like that? They're not moving, they're not expressive, they're not doing anything. I see it with choir videos too. No expression, all monotone. This will not be like that. So it's our job, all of our job over the 2 weeks, to really get these kids to be confident in their abilities and trust themselves, so they can come forward and show us and the world who they are. So, yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, we've got the lovely Laura Kaye here. Why don't you finish by just adding your course that you were working on till 4 o'clock in the morning last night?
Well, I keep reinventing it, but I think I finally settled on it. And it's interesting because I'm kind of feeding a little bit off of what Hayden is coming up with. And that's also why I love working with all of you, is that we collaborate as artists as well. And so everything that we're doing very much ties in. So my class is going to be called Unraveling Ball of Confusion and Other Things. So
Awesome.
we're going.
And what is Ball of Confusion? Is that a toy for the cats?
It's the state the world is in today. It's also.
Oh, it's a song.
It's a
By
song.
who?
By the Temptations, written back in what, the 70s?
It's awesome.
And timeless. And I was part of a choir called New Voices of Freedom. We did our own version of it with a 25-piece rock spool choir. Our version kicks butt. It's awesome. We're going to do the New Voices version as our base. But every day I'm going to have each of the campers construct their own verse and present me with their own verse. And through working on an actual song, we'll work on performance techniques, how to be a storyteller, how to sing the story of a song, how to find something in the meaning. We're going to take apart every single word and dissect it so that we understand what it means, so that we as singers can sing it with meaning, because the more convincing we are, the more we will convince you. And that's what it's all about. We have, Mark, you say this a lot when we do EYSs, is that you tell the orchestra to make themselves like a magnet so that the audience has to focus on you. We're going to do that in my class. Everybody who comes, I'm going to train you to be that magnet so that you can, in your performance, we're going to record the audio file to Soundtrap, we're going to film ourselves, and then we're going to do a video of Ball of Confusion, our version of Ball of Confusion.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. We've got the fantastic Valerie Vagoda here. We love Valerie. I mean, as I said in our last session about your breathtaking live performances at our camp, and even though you're going to be on a screen like us all, it's still riveting. When we see movies or television, it's still, even though it's on a screen, we're still can be riveting and interesting. Talk to us.
Hi. I am so happy to hear about all of these courses that work together so well. This is my 5th year teaching at this camp, and I love it every time. And this is going to be something to love in a whole new way. My course is Holistic Songwriting 101. So it's really about bringing your whole self to the creative process, and that we can't really fully be at our best creatively unless we have brought our whole selves online. And especially right now when we're in such isolation and we're sort of in a vacuum, And we can be in this hunched over position all day long. And that is really toxic, not only to our health, but also to our ability to be creative, right? So beginning with breathing and getting our bodies congruent, and understanding that what we want to do is get into creative flow, right? And in terms of brain waves, that's the alpha state. And it's the state that children are almost always in, right? And when you want to write something, when you want to be creative, you have to get out of that judging frame of mind and into that more relaxed alpha state. And it's why people have good ideas when they're in the shower, because they're relaxed.
Right.
So we start from there. And the idea is that even if you're an expert songwriter, or if you've never written a song before, by the end of this week, you will have written a song that is tailored toward your unique self-expression, your voice, what you want to say. If you have an instrument to bring in to support what you're saying in that song, that will be part of it also. So in terms of the structure of the course, we would start out, day one is unkinking the hose, right? We want to just get water moving through it fast and furious. So putting people together in partnerships, either 2 or 3 person partnerships, depending on the number of people in the class, so that you can either be collaborating and writing together on a song, or you can be just supporting each other and encouraging each other and bouncing ideas off. I'm a huge proponent of collaboration and not being in a vacuum. So meeting with your partner and throwing a ton of ideas against the wall, and including the bad ones, getting the bad ones out and on paper without judgment. And then you have somewhere to start from, right? Then choose the best ideas from the big storm. And then we start song structure, outlining. We're going to go lyrics first in this course, because we want to know what we want to say. We write our outline. After we know what the song structure in each section is, then we go to lyricizing it. Then we start speaking it in rhythm. Then we start walking around. Then we bring in the musical component. And then if you have an instrument to bring in to support that, that'll be near the end of the process. And so by the end of the week, you'll have something that works in your voice with your instrument. And it, I believe, will lead really nicely into some of the things that are offered in the second week about arranging.
Yeah. Val,
So,
you know what?
I'm going to take a bathroom break. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Maybe you want to mute your mic so we don't hear you while you're
Far away. Okay.
Val.
yeah.
There we go.
I'm
Hey,
kidding.
Val, you know,
Yes, practices.
it's funny watching you right now on the screen, so articulate and so clear and so interesting. It's like we're watching the Val Vigoda TV show, except instead of millions of people seeing you, it's a select group of people that will experience you in a couple of weeks of your TV show. But you're actually talking out of the screen to the campers and the students and teachers. I think this is going to be really cool. I've really got a sense of it was your TV show is right now, and you're clear and you're beautiful and interesting to watch. I really think this is going to be interesting. I think we should all be the Hayden Vitera TV shows next. And then another episode with Valerie Vigoda. And then, oh my goodness, what happened to Greg Byers' cliffhanger of the previous lesson? What is he going to talk about today?
Suspense is killing me.
Right?
my
I think
gosh.
that we should really think of this as little TV shows, because people can sit in front of binge watching. They're not complaining about that. They're complaining, oh, I'm in front of my computer too much. You're in front of the TV screen pretty much binge watching for hours and you're not complaining. So check out our TV show.
Right, but again, that's what's going to make this so much special, so much more special and so different. So many of these webinars, what was it, Deb, one of our educators said that all this teacher training that they're doing, it's like it's just staring at a screen. That is the exact opposite of what we're planning with virtual MWROC. It's not just staring at a screen. It's everything is collaborative. And what I think one of the things that, here's another on Laura's list of I love this idea is I'm finally going to be able to take all of your classes because they'll be recorded, and I can
Here.
Every year in person. It's like, I want to take Val's class because we resonate so strongly together, and we've been trying to connect so that we can talk about the overlap of our ideas, and we will, because now that I have my course focus, I'm good. But what we do, and there's so much overlap.
Right, but each of us is coming to it with our own approach, and no two people are going to say it the same way, which is also what to think about when you're songwriting. You're like, well, what do I have to say that's new? How many love songs have been written? How many songs have been written about the subject? Well, it hasn't come from your unique personality, right? And there's only one of you, and remembering that can help to free us as we get into the creative flow. So I'm so excited also to have, as both Joe and Hayden mentioned, more individual contact with people, office hours every day where people can come and bring what they're working on, and also not feel like they have to show it to 20 people or 30 people, but they can just like show it to me. It's a little bit more protected. So that can also sort of nurture people's process a little
I love it
more nicely.
And for my TV show, I have a key on my keyboard that's going to be a laugh track, so that if I say something funny, I can have like 50,000 people laughing and then shut them off. And that big applause, from stadium applause to Carnegie Hall to a classroom. It's going to be great. But we've got Greg Byers in here, who equals and matches, if not magnifies, the beauty of our humor and our ability to look at life as it's unfolding in front of us. Like, this is the weirdest movie I've ever seen. So let's just make it real interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, Greg Byers. Where's my laugh track?
All my beautiful MWROC faces, even if it's digitally, it's great to see you all. Apologies for being a little late, but some exciting news. I'm getting really trained on Soundtrap. I've been doing a different local rock camp here with some local students in the Twin Cities, and so getting them Soundtrap and collaborating with these students, and I'm seeing how I am like so excited to start using this with everybody at MWROC. It is a total game changer in terms of being able to share musical ideas quickly and simply. So to sort of jump into my topic, I've been doing the Beatles Orchestra for 3 years, and this is my 4th year, and I'm very sad that I won't be able to helm an orchestra like that, because it's something that I just really cherish, getting that opportunity to do and work with everybody in person. But the flip side is that this environment offers me an opportunity to have that personalization like we're talking about with anybody that takes my course. And on top of that, what I've found, a lot of the times because of scheduling, it's hard for some of the advanced students to get some of those small classes with me. So I'm really excited to actually offer a course on improvisation, and specifically how we can work on improving our improvisation through production and recording. I think back to when I was learning improv in undergrad, and at the time, like, having an MP3 player was a big piece of technology in the practice room. And so I could put my little Jamie Aebersold play-along on there, and that meant I could learn one song at one tempo in one key with one instrumentation. And so fast forward now to all the different tools and how simple it is to create just a plethora of different options for accompanying yourself in a solo practicing manner. So what I want to do is I want to use Soundtrap, and I want to show people like how I practice my improvisation. And so right now I'm actually very fortunate. I'm competing in the Safer Jazz Violin competition again.
Awesome.
I got in 2 years later after the airline delayed my flight by 2 days, and PSA tried to mangle up my cello case and all this stuff. I survived that, and I'm back in it. And so I'm doing this right now. I'm having to practice my improv, and I'm having to really sort of be analytical about it, but also practice, like Val was talking about, getting into that creative state. So breaking it down a little bit more, we're going to talk about doing more like rhythmic focused improv and really honing in on just using rhythms as sort of an instrumental solo improvisation. We're going to do one where it's a little more melodic focused. We're going to talk about how we can have sort of just drums and bass and no harmonies, and how we can use our solo to imply harmonies. We're going to talk about then say we have trouble improvising between two chords that sort of aren't really related. I'm going to talk about ways that we can look at those chords. And once again, we're going to put all of this stuff every day. I'm going to ask you to record a solo. You're going to throw it up in Soundtrap. And then for office hours, I can go right on in, listen to either the backing track that I made or a backing track that you made and you created for the assignment. I can listen right away and give you immediate direct feedback about that improvisation, which is so cool. And it's just really hard to do if I'm in a classroom with 50 students.
Right.
Be able to give that level of feedback. You know, this is so exciting. So
I am dying to take your class.
I don't want to have to analyze your solo, Mark. Good. It's gonna be too good.
I think that all the faculty should send their improv to you, and you critique them without knowing who's who.
Oh yeah, don't put names on it. That'll be exciting.
Right.
Actually, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Long time ago, it was part of an ear training course, and they had us record a solo on a song, then transcribe that solo, and then actually analyze and go through and write down the scale names. And so we're going to do that as a class, and it doesn't need to be anything crazy or 8 minutes long, but I think just understanding that process of how we can objectively look at our solo and see, like, maybe I'm playing the root too much, maybe I'm playing this rhythm too much. It's so powerful, and so I think this is just a great opportunity to share that insight into how I work on my improv like that.
I love it. You are the best, Greg, and we always cherish your time at the camp, and we will be doing it. But this summer, I think it's really even equally exciting that we're shifting the platform of it and the experience where we can be at home comfortably and press play and stop for each of us on our TV shows. Greg, you're a cherished treasure to us. Thank you, Greg. And we're going to wrap it up with Deb Wine, who works with us, who's wonderful. Talk a little bit about our teacher outreach and our professional service.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk about that, but we have a question. So after I get done, somebody wants to know about the technology that campers are going to need, like what's the list to be able to participate. So anyway, I am super excited because every year teachers come to camp and they love camp because they're musicians and they get to go to everybody's classes, but they also want to have time to work on everything that people are talking about to implement in their classrooms and come up with lessons. And especially this day and age with teachers not knowing whether they're going to be teaching online or in person or a hybrid, combination of the two. So this year for teachers, we are developing professional development and having very specific things that teachers can learn and they can work on. So it's amazing, the list of things. We're going to be working on, let's see, how to use Soundtrap. So going back to Soundtrap, how to use that, but how to use some of the programs, other programs that are out there, but it's going to be hands-on. The teachers were talking about how if they had to watch another webinar where they're just sitting, that they would just die. So it is not going to be that at all. It's going to be very much collaborative, where teachers can work together. They can create lessons, projects, activities, share with each other, so that when the 2 weeks is over, they're going to walk away with so much material and so much content that it's going to be crazy. So everybody's very excited. So we've got directors of education, Heather Gonzalez and Corey Zilich are heading that up, and then Lisa Russell, Aaron Wilburn, and myself, we're all working on that teacher piece of it. So very excited about that.
Thank you, Deb. And I think it's important that we share with our teachers materials, techniques, and technology that they can return to their classroom with. That's really important because right now, people are looking at the arts, especially with music. What do we do with our music programs? Well, that's going to be an after-school thing or whatever, or it's going to be part-time during the school day. We're not quite sure. We need to step up and be the leaders and engage the conversation ourselves. So we should not fear that. And we're going to be talking about that at our teacher in services with the at the camp, is how do we get the message out and not be shy in the conversation. I have muscled my way into, believe it or not, the marching band world. And I squeezed in the back door. I said, wait, don't close the door yet. We need the orchestra in this conversation. So we're presenting this big project that we're doing. And it's really exciting. The marching bands, the choirs, and the orchestra all have equal issues and challenges right now come this fall. And we cannot lose one kid because one kid is either bored or the orchestra program no longer exists. And we have to make sure that does not happen at this moment, because all of us, Joe, Hayden, Val, and Greg, and Laura, and of course Deb, have been working very hard for 20 years to make sure our music programs, especially our choirs and our orchestras, to be relevant and part of the conversation and not be this sort of niche little experience in the corner with less than 20% of the schools even having orchestra programs. So this is our moment to shine, to show the world that we're relevant, 21st century thinking, technologically driven. We have to use our technology. Every one of us uses a computer. Every one of us uses pedals and electronics to express ourselves. But how many orchestras in the world actually are utilizing it in a live everyday situation? Very few. So we still have a lot to do. And I think this summer we have an opportunity right now to sort of deal with our tradition, but also what more ideas can we come up with that can accelerate a kid to learn music. Acceleration is the key. We've all worked with a kid who's been playing for 5 years, 6 years, and they can barely play. I think that's unacceptable. If that first year that kid was not using a metronome, which is incredibly annoying, but using a drum machine and drones and introducing to improv, so that the word practice is never used. The word play is used as a replacement. Let's go play for an hour. Not let's go practice for an hour. No. Let's go play. And that is our new message.
That's the key, isn't it? It's play. And so what the beauty of what we're offering, again, Deb had said that there was a question that came through in the comments about what technology would a camper need? Your phone, your computer, your iDevice, your instrument, your voice.
Sunglasses, you gotta have sunglasses.
Gotta have sunglasses because they're really cool. Really, there's nothing extra, because the sound trap, which is what we were talking about before, that Greg is using it with, that is going to be one of the core pieces of functionality of how we collaborate in camp. It's an app, and it's built right into the platform that we're using. Every camper will get it. It is included with tuition, a 1-year subscription to Soundtrap. They don't have to purchase anything. Tuition includes it. We log you in, we get you signed up, we give you your login information, bam, you're good to go. The course materials will be provided for you in folders. The pre-videos with some tutorial stuff will be included, and then we have live Zoom, we're calling them office hours, with our faculty twice a day, where you get one-on-one in-person time. But the technology, really, you can record. Go to the MWROC website right now, mwroc.com/Chuck Bontrager, and go check out what Chuck Bontrager is, his little promo that he put together. And we're going to see him on Friday, by the way, along with, who do we have on Friday? We have Chuck, we have Nathan.
Dr. David Wallace.
Dr. David Wallace, the head of the string, he's the Berkeley string chair.
Mm-hmm.
We have Nathan Blake, who's our movement coach and choreographer. We have me. We have Chuck Bontrager, and who else? Who am I missing? Somebody. I'm missing Matt Vanicoro.
There it is.
Matt Vanicoro. So Chuck recorded this whole thing for his little faculty promo video that he did, all using Soundtrap with, I think, his amps, his acoustic violin, and his phone. And you should hear what it sounds like. It's pretty extraordinary. This stuff is life-changing. So yeah, technology that the kids need is whatever they're using on a daily basis to be with their friends. It helps to have a strong internet connection. Other than that, really that's it. They don't have to buy anything extra or
Hayden.
do anything extra.
That keying off what Laura was saying is that in case some people are probably wondering, well, do I need to have an audio interface? Do I need to have a microphone? Do I need to be able to plug my instrument in? That's not the case, right? We can go straight off your computer's microphone or your phone's microphone. And you don't need to buy any fancy, obviously your sound will be better if you can plug in, but you don't have to have it. So don't let that hold you back.
Yeah,
Right.
it's surprising how good the sound is without that professional stuff. I mean,
Yep.
I don't know how they do it, but the sound is really pretty extraordinary.
I've been finding if you can connect to Zoom and you can do just sort of like a video chat like this, you have the technology to do this. You've got it already. And the thing that I love, it's so intuitive. It helps you set the input level. It's just very, very smooth. I've been extremely impressed with it. So
Yeah, that's the other thing that campers need is Zoom, but Zoom is free. Just get a free Zoom account. You don't need the robust account. We have the robust accounts on our end. We are the ones hosting it, so we will be able to do. We'll be able to spotlight you. We'll be able to hear you. And all you need to do is just click a link and you're in, and that's free. Zoom is free.
Hey guys, before we wrap it up, I want to ask each one of us a brief answer to this question, because when I go to my camp, right, and I'm busy, I walk in briefly to Hayden's class and go, wow, all this blackboard with all this cool stuff written out. I was like, what is this stuff? Oh, you missed it, Mark. Oh, I guess I'll wait till next year. And then 10 years goes by and I miss everybody's class. I can actually go and find you guys this summer and click play and learn what I've been waiting for. So each one of you, I would say Hayden, Val's classes at our camp are the most unusual, because it's not about B flats and C sharps. It's about the deeper meaning. So I think Val, I just miss your classes every year, and I'm going to be able to go to your class. So Joe, who would you want to, who have you missed over the years?
You know, I mean, I would say that about everybody, because everybody's got so much to offer. And let me preface that by saying, this year, if people sign up, they'll actually get more out of the camp than any other year.
Oh, yes.
You're not limited to physical time. You can access anything at any time and take it home with you and work on it over the year, which is a beautiful thing. You can't do that at physical camp. So it makes it actually an advantage.
You can play over and over and over again. Binge watch.
Exactly, man. But yeah, a few years ago, Hayden had this cool class about fiddle riffs.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to learn the classic. There was one he said, you know, gosh darn it, I'm tired. There was one, all the riffs
like that.
producers
Son of a
call up.
gun,
I
I'm
was always,
tired.
yeah. There was all these cool things that I was always curious about, and that I feel like I've been faking it all these years. Whenever I'm asked to do a session like that, I can fake. I don't know what I'm really doing, but yeah, that's one that comes to mind. I'd love to hear Greg's approach to improvisation. I'd love to hear Val's approach to songwriting, and how to really write a love song when millions have been written, but how to make it your own and not second guess. Like, all these topics are so fascinating to me. So it's hard to choose just one, you know?
What about you, Val?
I agree completely.
Is there any class or teacher that we just never have time for?
Yeah, well, in addition to all of them. And I know, Laura, you and I have this thing where we keep wanting to learn from each other and be in each other's presence. So I'm excited about that. But really all of them. I love the time expanding nature of this particular year. And I don't know if it'll happen again. This might be our only chance to really get all
That's
of
true.
the marrow out of all the classes.
I think it's a once in a lifetime experience this summer.
But I think it could also be groundbreaking in that in a future physical camp, there could also be a virtual element where all the classes are filmed and you can keep referring back to them forever.
Right. Oh, that's
We've been talking about that. We've very much been talking about that, of having an online sort of adjunct to in-person camp as well.
Mm-hmm.
But absolutely.
Totally. Yes. And
well, I know that with
right?
the ASCAP convention, the I Create Music Expo, they do every year. They also, if you can't go, they offer all the panels and stuff like that online. They record everything and have them for
that's great handiwork.
Pay to get that. But I'm personally excited, obviously, about everything. I could definitely use some insights on, since I've gotten into the looping thing. I want to learn from Joe for sure, and really everybody here loops. So, but what's kind of more my current needs and interests are right now is Matt Vanicaro. I'm going to be all up his stuff, because the videoing and the recording techniques and everything, I'm finally, in this quarantine, I've had to sit there and learn like how to actually record in GarageBand, how to do videos, how to do live streams. And just, that dude is the guru of all things on that. So I can't wait to up my game with his class for sure.
Well, we all need to know how to do that stuff now, and especially our campers. And even when all of this is over and we go back to some semblance of normal, these skills are going to be life-changing from this point forward forever. So it's not just applicable to this little virtual world that we're all sort of stuck in at the moment. It is catapulting and launching creativity at a whole other level, which is really beautiful.
And Greg, any last minute thoughts from my friend, my favorite cello bass player? Oh my God, that video that you posted with you playing cello and bass unison.
Thank you. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, off topic, but that was mind blowing.
Well, it was a fun little commission from a local high school here, and we did a Turtle Island string quartet arrangement. And fancied up the solo a little bit, so
killing it.
But so I just want to echo everybody else's sentiments. We're like, all the faculty I have so much admiration of, and there are so many topics that are so cool. But thinking back, I know like Joe and Val always do like the singing and playing things, and I feel like I run in the last like 2 minutes just to catch like the tail end, and everybody's like, in awe about how great it was, and I'm sobbing I missed it,
we always invite you to sit with us, but you're
I'm busy. I'm working.
Yeah. I think that's a topic that each of us is addressing. Since we're not doing that exact singing and playing this year, we're each addressing that topic in our own ways in our classes.
There's some master classes and stuff with some other topics, so maybe I can catch those too. But or like I always have felt like I've wanted to really pick Chuck's brain about just like pedals and tone and that sort of thing, or like super excited both Val's songwriting, and I know Dr. Wallace is doing a composition thing. All of that stuff is very interesting to just see how other people approach that process. I think it's very personal for different people, and so everybody. I mean, Hayden, I remember your version of Coco. I was totally blown away when I heard that down in San Antonio, and so like I know that's going to be a really interesting course. Like
everybody was crying.
Oh, good.
Beautiful moment. Laura, do you want to wrap it up with any announcements at all?
Well, just basically to reiterate what everybody's saying, because I want to take all y'all's classes. Here I'm going to be Texas, like Deb.
Y'all.
Is it all y'all? I don't know.
All y'all.
All y'all.
We're going to continue the conversation Friday.
We're going to continue the conversation Friday, but the beauty for our campers and for us, and selfishly from my point of view, is all of these courses, you sign up for class, you can download them. And like Val said, we don't have the physical boundaries of space and time when we're doing it this way. So when we first started planning, we were thinking, well, we'll have a morning session and we'll have an afternoon session. It was like, no, we'll have sessions all day long, and you just jump on where you want. And if you miss someone's class, you download it and take it. You could conceivably be taking MWROC courses for the next year.
Yeah.
So yes, Deb.
Socializing. We've covered all of the musicianship part, but one of the things that everybody really looks forward to is the socializing. So I just want to throw this in, is that every night there's going to be what we call Rock and Rec. It's like an open mic night, but basically, where everybody can put together their own little performance and perform, and everybody looks forward to it every night. So we're going to have that every night throughout the 2 weeks. We're also going to have fun game nights for the 18-year-olds and up, and also the 17-year-olds and under, and have a messaging system that where you guys, everybody can message each other throughout camp, whether you're in a Zoom meeting or sitting at home, it's 2 a.m. and you think of something, you can message each other. Faculty members can message the people in their class. So we're going to be using Discord to be able to message and stay in contact with, and have a little bit of socializing that we want to have. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is that we were able to bring in that piece of camp even in the online world.
Yeah, and we're going to continue that conversation with that topic on Friday, and we're going to be doing these fairly routinely before the actual camp starts. So if anyone has any questions, go to the website. Peace and love, everybody. Thank you, guys.
MWROC.com.
Guys.
And join us on Friday for part 2. I think next week we're going to start interviewing our guest artists.
Yes.
And yay, we really, really hope to see you in a few weeks. And hit us up if you are. There are still a little bit of scholarship money left. Hit us up and we'll see if we can help get you to MWROC.
Peace out, guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.